The final chance to enter the Integrity Ignite Series final round of the playoffs. Now is the time. This is the place. It's our shortest race of the season when it comes to mileage, which is interesting because we're still expecting a long haul. This track is not nearly as quick as the other short tracks on our schedule, and it brings that added challenge and difficulty of not being able to put the power down. It's a test of endurance and a test of patience. Welcome back to Virginia. This time around, it's not Richmond. This is the paperclip. This is the Martinsville Speedway, and it's our 27th race of the Integrity Ignite Series season for 2025. And to add to that predicament, it's the last race in the round of 10. 5 drivers sit above the cut line, and of course, only 5 will be able to make it through from here. With that said, 5 go home. And we're going to find out who has what it takes to compete for a championship this season, and simply put, who doesn't at the end of tonight's racing. Welcome back to FTN Broadcasting. I'll be your host for tonight's event. I'm David Kreutz, commentating and producing what is expected to be a thriller. Only 93 miles doesn't sound like an intimidating distance, but when it comes to Martinsville and the paperclip, that can't be further from the truth. Currently, Ethan Lane sits at the top of the board over the rest of the field, and then you got Michael Orion Company taking times. Michael just getting down to pit road after taking his second and final lap. Nick Tarbuck sitting second on the outside front row currently. So we have just about 30 drivers registered for tonight's race, many of which have taken time so far, 24 of which, with an additional 2 on the racetrack right now. Here's Jared Davis in the number 19 going at it. Davis for his first lap in this stint. He's actually gotten himself a few, and he's looking to go at it again, but not with a validated time. So just a few extra preparations for the driver in the 19, even if it doesn't mean as much. Additionally, DJ Stagner's going at it right now. DJ finding himself on his first official lap, his first timed of 2. This will count, as will the next. Stagner comes across the line, and we'll see what time he puts in. It's one final opportunity for the 64 crew to go out there and win a second championship in the Ignite Series. First ever title winner. First lap puts him up to 4th. That's a great opening lap, and it looks like he won't try to follow it. Nicholas Ward up to the top of the wall for one more lap. Tom Wetmore going at it with some internet troubles there. Jared Davis in the 19, a little bit more of the same. Davis in his Chevrolet Camaro coming across the line once again. Still is not going to put down the time, all the while Tom Wetmore goes up to 23rd in his first lap. So Tom, with some room to improve on this second and final, let's see if he makes the most of it. Coming out of 4, and Wetmore going from 23rd and rising slightly higher to 21st. So not a major improvement, but just enough to get him a little higher on the board. That should help out in the early going. Nicholas Ward across the stripe for a 20.089. That's good for 24th. And it looks like it's going to be the final time set in the session. Last week, Ethan Lane, in a caution-free Daytona race, came away with his 7th win of the season. And he's done it a few times in both Monday and Tuesday night competition. He will start where he last finished. Ethan Lane grabs the pole position for your final race in the round of 10. He's already locked into the next one, and it looks like he is setting his sights on doing the field one better. Lane to the top of the board in qualifying. Justin Morton will be the first on track for the final warm-up. And so your qualifying lineup is fully decided. At the top of the pylon is another, of course, familiar face alongside Ethan Lane in Nick Tarbuck. Those top two have been at each other now for several seasons, and they're going to fight at least one more time tonight for the race win. The championship standings are tight at the cut line, with 3 drivers within 8 points one way or another, and a total of 5 within 15. DJ Stagner, Michael Araya, and Sam Nieto are the long shots, but otherwise, and excluding Lane Lane and Davis, who locked in. It's a pretty tight margin in the upper echelon of the field tonight, and every position will matter that much more with that in mind today. Your qualifying lineup also sets the stage for what is set to be an exciting joust between the best of the best. Tonight, Ethan Lane grabs the pole position once again. For Ethan, it has been a rock-solid campaign, capped off in the round of 10 by a win at Daytona. Nick Tarbuck is a championship spoiler, but he's still looking for wins. Your runner-up man of the regular season, well, he finds himself second here in qualifying tonight. For Ethan, that is his 9th pole of the season. Thomas Bresci for third. He finds himself just under the cut line. DJ Stagner is way back on it in fourth. And Hunter Madalenas tonight, a championship spoiler driver. He in the 07 is qualified in fifth. In the top 5, you're also going to have DJ Stagner just ahead of Jacob Fife. Fife is right there in the mix, and today Jacob is going to be starting in P6. 7th place on the day, Cody Smith. 8th place, Michael Araya, and 9th is then from there going to be Blake Gordon with 10th and Justin Morton. 11 and 12 positions occupied by Blake Cannon and Sam Nieto. 13th place then, the Baker's Dozen, Matthew Thunhorst, and 14th is Ronnie Osmer, the regular season champ, starting in P13. 15th, Brant McClendon. 16th, Jack Drucker, Casey Schuin. 17th, and Seb Miller, P18. With your top 20 concluded by Will Reichert and Matt Sizzler. Tom Wetmore goes 21st with 22nd and Josh Gallagher. Brandon Bernhardt 23rd and 24th and Nicholas Ward as Ryan Potter wraps up the top 25. Your field of 30, capped off by Gael Brooks in the number 71. The 39 of Cal Filarski, the final driver to take a time in 26th, or rather P27. 28th goes Jared Davis, Steve Durham 29th, and Boomer Logan goes 30th and last in a packed field at the half-mile paperclip. 30 drivers take on Martinsville tonight, and for the 9th time this season, Ethan Lane lines up at the head of the board. He'll take the pole from Martinsville, and he'll have Nick Tarbuck right beside him to get the job started for the final time in Virginia this season. Last short track opportunity, a minute and a half remaining. And some drivers have gone down to the racetrack to get some extra laps in, Tom Wetmore being one of which. Wetmore hang down to the inside of the circuit. He's part of the Roadhouse Racing crew that are still vying for the title in the form of Blake Cannon. While Wetmore was eliminated in the previous round, his teammate is still going strong. That Toyota Supra, 3rd place here. He's where he needs to be. 5th place, Justin Morton. I don't know if he's where he needs to be. He goes all the way down to the inside. Can we get a look at that? He is in the infield and going all the way through. He just ran past the ambulance. And he's on the inside of pit road. This is not safe. What is he doing? Luckily, the pit crew... Oh, wow. Almost out of the park. And he lands sideways on the exit of pit road. Almost went back on all fours there, but he couldn't. Well, that's Justin Morton, and there's Tom Wetmore. We saw him earlier. And it looks like the same old for the number 69 car. Morton put on a show there. Nevertheless, practice has all but come to a close, and so it looks like now we are just about ready to go racing. Championship tensions and tempers are set to flare as your final warm-up session of the night has come to a close. Now the big show, as Morton is still sideways, is set to begin. 175 miles, 93 miles in 175 laps. It's a short race, but it still could take us a long while. We're at the mercy of the field in that sense. Whether or not we have a clean race that goes quickly or a long haul where cautions break up the strategy Really comes down to everyone cooperating with each other. 30 drivers on this track is a big group to put on. It's not too much to handle necessarily, but it's not going to be easy to do so at the very same time. And so I think everyone knows that. I mean, Ethan Lane and Nick Tarbuck and company in particular, they should understand that pretty well. But likewise, I don't think that means that understanding will get you there fully. We're bound to have drivers going for aggressive moves and try to push the issue a little bit more maybe than they should. That's happened. It's happened a lot, and I wouldn't be too shocked to see a little bit more of that. Keep in mind, that playoff bubble has drivers including Thunhorst, Stagner, Nieto, and Thomas Bressi, Matthew Thunhorst as well. Only 2 drivers are locked in. The rest can make it in. There are 8 drivers vying for the 3 remaining spots. Less than a 50% success rate, even if you break it down, a raw chance. So that means you got to fight for it because the odds are not in your favor. I'll concede and I'll say one thing about one driver. By the numbers, the odds are slightly in Blake Cannon's favor. He's got a 4-point buffer. That is the biggest of any one driver coming into the day. Blake didn't have the greatest race at Daytona. Luck of the draw saw him on the outside looking in of the lucky 7s, while Ethan Lane was able to come away with not a miraculous win, but it's still quite a shocker. In a caution-free race at Daytona, your winningest driver does it again. Cannon couldn't muster up a similar performance. One to green now as the field fully assembles under the leadership of Ethan Lane. iRacing official pace car gets to the inside, and it's a sea of red, white, and blue up in front. Thomas Bressi and Ethan Lane with new looks tonight. Lane looking for the same performance as he had last week from one of the biggest and fastest on the schedule to the tightest and the slowest. Martinsville Speedway is the home to the round of 10's epic conclusion. Green flags out. Well, it was. Oh, we got trouble, Matt Alenis, briefly. Knocked there, but the trouble lies in the back. Caution's out. Here's a fast look at how things got started here. And it looks like just as we go green, don't. Yellow flag's out. Oh, Kyle Brooks in and Nicholas Ward sends him up the track. The yellow flag immediately flies. Jared Davis slows it down. One more time with a focus on the 97. Looks like the bigger victim, if anything, in this one. Slow down for Gallagher. Brooks didn't anticipate it, and it looks like that's just all she wrote. A brief and fast chain reaction gives way to your first caution. At lap number 1, mind you. So it's going to be Ward just ahead of Ethan Lane, just barely maintaining on the lead lap. The field will get things going. Once again, it looks like lap number 6. Wave Nicholas Ward around, really get things settled in. Go racing once again. He's the only driver with significant damage. Then you got the 56 of Jack Drucker to the back of the field. Seb Miller with some front end contact. Finds himself already with 1 pit stop under his belt. Matt Sizzler's gone down low. Brooks more of the same, so Gael Brooks is now 1 lap down, the first driver to go 1 under on the night. Lane. Still your leader. All he really needed to do there was lead the opening corner, and he did so with flying colors. Really no problem in him maintaining the race lead. 1 to green this time by. Doubled up for restart lap number 6. Pace cars low. Tarbuck and Lane are set to get back at it. A rematch from just a minute ago. It's your first restart of the day, and Lane launches off. Just a little higher, Sam Nieto and Justin Morton go, but no problems for anyone in the front of the field, nor the back. Jack Drucker there. Seb Miller and company. Double file all the way down, and no complications. Hunter Madalena side by side with Nick Tarbuck for third and trying to make up some early spots, understanding his championship run is on the line tonight. E3 for Madalenas is a great start, but it's all about performing and finishing. He is on the cut line and stands only 7 points up on Thomas Bressi. Bressi being ahead of him right now, position-wise, not the best circumstance for the Madalenas crew. Yellow flag is out again. It's your second of the day at lap number 8. Watch this with Ryan Potter. So, it's the 99 who got loose. Oh, contact from Reichert sends him down. That's the caution. Second of the day at lap number 9. And early, the troubles have been fast and frequent. Double digits. Hit him. Lap number 10 here with 2 cautions already recorded. Not an amazing start, by all means, but that's a small incident, and I would think we can work past that in the next coming laps. Field will return to action about lap number 10 from what we're looking at. And to pit road this time by Drucker again, Sebastian Miller again. Now he's joined by his teammate, Ryan Potter. Kyle Brooks is 1 lap down. Get himself back on the lead lap, taking him all the way to the outside and set to right by the iRacing pace car. That'll bring 29 on the lead lap. Your 29 drivers who took the only one who would be excluded would be Boomer Logan. Logan did not take the green at all, and so he did not start. Heading toward your first dozen of the day. Ethan Lane, Thomas Bressi, Hunter Madalenas, Nick Tarbuck, the 1, 2, 3, 4 combination as they roll down. Now in the top 10, you got Fife, Lariah, Blake Gordon, and Blake Cannon. So both the Blakes there. No particular surprises. Brent McClendon's been having some good runs as of late. Michigan in the Octane Series. He was up in the mix last week as well at Daytona. And he's in 12th. So I wouldn't count out the 11 team either. Again, there's a lot of drivers here who are just going for race wins. Keep that in mind. They're not out here going for any particular points position. They're not concerning themselves with a circumstance like that. But instead, what they're doing is going out there and chasing more aggressively the best result of all, the race victory. Points being less of a factor for more of the field. You might see a different mentality really come into play in the final round, but I think you'll also see it tonight. Lane, oh, he's a no-doubter. He leads again. One, two, three in a lap 14. It's side by side from Jacob Fife on down. Well, the top 5 gets away with Nick Tarbuck being the last of which it's contentious from there on. Cody Smith is trying to make use of that second groove, and it looks like currently anyway, he's got a good run going. Shot to the inside. Jacob Fife still staying low there. Cody Smith has not been shaken, although his car will shake. That'll drop him a spot, and Blake Gordon's now going to be on the hunt. Leader is Lane. Madalenas is second. Bressi is third with Stagner then in fourth. And so they all fall down from there. Tom Wetmore, number 69, he just got ahead of Brant McClendon. And Brant dropping back to 16th, so not the best start for him after being recorded as the 12th place driver heading into that restart. Well, the good news is, looks like it's going to be a clean restart. Got a few more green flag laps at least to open. Side by side, the 55 of Ronnie Osmer now with Blake Cannon. Cannon low, and Ronnie Osmer up top with a little bit of front end damage as well. Ronnie staying very firm in battling for this position. Even with the damage he has, it looks like he has no sign nor intention of quitting. And it's exciting to see that second groove is trying to come alive. And the emphasis is on trying because Jacob Fife wasn't quite able to make it work. But Ronnie stayed even. Over the last 3 laps, it looks like just about identical lap times. And Ronnie is objectively running more of the track. Still getting that same speed. Just out of 3 or 4, can't make it happen. He'll get loose. And as Fife did succumb to his own ways, the errors of his ways, there Ronnie Osmer does all the same. Ronnie in 12th, Casey Shue 13th, Sam Nieto 14th place, and Tom Wetmore in 15th as they run. Brant McClendon going to be P16 and Will Reichert in 17th. So, 10th after 10th after 10th, they all pile in for caution number 3. It's your third of the day in the back of the field, sees Ryan Potter in trouble once more. Take a look back and figure out what caused it. 3 cautions in the opening 21 laps. Potter loose through 3. Just wasn't able to catch it. That's a self-spin that gives way to the yellow flag. Tricky situation. Side-by-side moment, and it looks like Potter just not able to hang on. That will bring the standstill. Yellow flag is out. Lap 21. Laps have remained dominated. Yellow flag periods. And it looks like this is going to be no exception. Delane leading still. Hunter Madalenas up to second. Gotten by Thomas Bressi. Bressi's now the final driver on the podium. The outside of the circuit. Got some lappers getting themselves settled in. Gael Brooks just went down a pit road, so he'll be putting himself back together. Jared Davis at the back of the field. Matt Sizzler now there as well. Pit road goes Calvin Filarski, Brant McClendon, Josh Gallagher, Sebastian Miller, and Ryan Potter once more. So the Swamp teammates have made a regular basis these pit stops early in the going. Making a habit of pit road is not particularly a bad thing either. Getting themselves fresher tire if they need it. Maybe that's not right now, but in the future. And of course, getting themselves topped off with fuel. So there's a net positive in continuously going down and in. Maybe it's not the thing you want to do to hold track position, but if you're not there to begin with, there's no harm, no foul in going to pit road, getting more fuel, and if we have a long run from there, could be able to do a lot better. One lap to green. Lane, Hunter Madalenas, Thomas Bressi, DJ Stagner. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now Stagner, basically in a winner-go-home situation, poised to put himself in the podium if he can just run this restart well. Closest he's been to the top 3 all night long, and he's only gone up and up. Here we go again. Ethan Lane, loud pedal. He's got it made. Madalenas on the outside. Bressi right down low. 2x2 all the way back. Your third restart is underway. Lane is the only driver able to get away from the side-by-side madness. Hunter Menelenis on the outside is keeping himself in check, but you also might see he's got a little bit of the battle scar showing early. The backside's got a little bit of a rough up. Thomas Bressi in second just got by, and now he'll move into second. Bressi being ahead of Menelenis is critical for his championship run. Thomas is only just in the mix with the 0-7. It is as tight as it comes between those two. Right now, Bressi is 7 points under Menelenis, and so he basically, in this spot, he would need to win. With Menelenis just a position behind him, he would need to win this race. But being ahead of Hunter to begin with is a great thing, and points on the line coming from the stage break also are going to have a heavy implication. Side by side between Cannon and DJ Stagner. DJ watching the Roadhouse Kid in the 27 get through. Blake has come on as a full-time driver in both the Ignite and Octane series this season and has done a great job. He is still fighting to make it into the Final Five, leading the team in points. And now looking for that first championship berth in his Ignite Series career. He was able to win a race last season, done it again this season, 2 consecutive. Situation as it stands at the head of the field is that Thomas Bressi and Hunter Menelenis can both make it in to the playoffs. However, it would take great races out of the both of them. Here's how it goes down. Jared Davis, who is at the back of the field right now, is 4 points above the cut line. As they run, Davis, well, he's locked in. It wouldn't matter. He's good. Ethan Lane, locked in. He is good as well. Everyone's watching as Blake Cannon runs in 8th. Cannon right now is 4 points above the cut line. As it stands, he still would be good to make it, and the drivers who would make it in as they run would be Blake Cannon, then Hunter Menelenis, and then it's a toss-up right now between teammates. Bressi and Matthew Thunhorst are spread far enough apart where they are racing each other for a championship spot. Coming into today, Matthew Thunhorst is 1 point above the cut line and 8 above Thomas Bressi, which means that since they are separated by 8 positions on track, they are right on each other. Now, off a winning tiebreaker, they would come in dead even. So they are basically lockstep. Oh, Cannon is going to get away, but Blake Gordon falls back big, and he shoots himself to the outside. There goes to number 13. But between Thunhorst and Bressi right now is the battle for the final championship spot. I think the slight edge goes to Bressi. And it's minuscule. I mean, now it's coming down to individual points between those drivers. Cannon is in a comfortable spot in P7. That'll be good for him. Davis is already locked in, as is Ethan Lane. But it looks like right now the drivers who are out of the mix are Jack Drucker, who runs in 13th. Then you have Sam Nieto in the number 2, who is running in 10th. He's running solidly, but he has a bigger deficit to make up 17 back. Michael Araya is currently running in 23rd. And then lastly, you're going to have DJ Stagner. Now, Stagner started strong, but he's been up and down. Now he's in 14th place, and he is 44 points back. Laraya and Stagner must win. Sam Nieto, yeah, basically more of the same. Drucker can get in mathematically without winning, but it'll be hard. And Thomas Bressi has the best chance to get in without winning, but the best chance comes with him staying exactly where you see him, 2nd place. Not a guarantee he maintains that spot, but as he runs, he's got a great chance to knock his own teammate out for the final spot. The big thing is that no matter who we just talked about, nobody except Ethan Lane or Jared Davis can sleep or rest easy on the racetrack tonight. Mentality is go all out. Find ways to make opportunities for yourself, even if they do not currently exist. That's the issue here. None of them have any buffer, and it's going to come back to bite someone. We'll just find out who. Oh, Cal Filarski sliding as he just gets bumped by Nicholas Ward. Yellow flags out for the 4th time today at lap 40. That was our longest green flag run. And here's what happened to the number 39 of Calvin Filarski. into 1 and 2, loose, and he just buckles up the track, slides it out of line. Nobody else harmed, except briefly there from Nicholas Ward as they make minor contact, but otherwise the field gets away from that one. And Fularski should be good to continue. That's Calvin Fularski in the 39. He runs 26th as it stands. Drops down to pit road. Here's Nicholas Ward. Passing by the good majority of the field, led by Ethan Lane. Lane is with Tarbuck, Bresci, DJ Stagner, Hunter Madalenis, and additionally behind there, Michael Araya. Coming out first, it's just barely going to be Ethan Lane. Bresci gets the better of Madalenis again, and then you'll have Nick Tarbuck with Tom Wetmore following, DJ Stagner, Matt Sizzler, and Blake Gordon to wrap up the current top 15. 6 holdouts on the original set. Jack Drucker, the 7th holdout, on 10-lap younger rubber than those who started the race. Drucker, the middleman. Everyone else a little different. .42 laps in out of 175. We'll get going again for lap number 4, it appears. Fourth restart on the day sees Jacob Fife and Cody Smith, your race leaders. First time tonight, they've got the top honors. It's going to be Blake Cannon and Matthew Thunhorst who follow them in row 2. Sam Nieto for 5th. And then Jack Drucker and Jared Davis, the final backup in this massive lineup. Well, it's 30 drivers. Pretty big for a half-mile track, but not a lot of holdouts. And so these drivers on the alternate call are going to have a hard time defending against the new wave. Green flags out. It's going to be Jacob Fife who gets it going again. And here we go. Green flag for the Sim Motion Chevrolet. Side by side for second, Cody Smith and Blake Cannon. They're still right at each other, and already Ethan Lane has started to break through on the old brigade of tires. Side by side with Sam Nieto here. They're right at each other, toe to toe. Ethan having to use the outside, but it looks like that won't stop him either. He still has the pace to make something happen. Surging through with Cody Smith. No contact, no need. He's got the pace no matter what. Where that new rubber is going to help out. The pace is going to be dictated largely by the leader, and currently not particularly slow. Jacob Fife, that time by, ran a 20.287, only 0.3 off of his best lap. So pace isn't the problem, but the level of control Ethan Lane has with newer rubber is significantly higher. What he can do if he needs to is basically match the speed of the leaders while going for passes. And since he's going for passes out of the racing line, he has to put a little bit more work in. The outside on Matthew Thunhorst, that gets him up to 4th. Side by side now ducking to the inside. Cody Smith heads upstairs. And now, looks like Lane is up inside the podium just like that, leaving Jacob Fife and Blake Cannon not to fend for themselves per se, but they've got to watch out. Lane finds himself waiting in the wings, and so quickly he's got a shot again to get to that race lead. Sam Nieto ducking as the 5th caution of the night comes out. Nicholas Ward involved. Here's a look. See what happened at the time of the incident. The 97 already having damage. And so it looks like those problems, a little bit more, just came to pass. Oh, loose through 1 and 2. Lot like the Potter incident. And this time around, he gets away. No contact from anyone. Caution flies. For the most part anyway. Ward actually kept it straight through that. But it's not the biggest of problems, as it looks like now he's limping to pit road. He's going to park it. At the head of the field, Fife. Fife, Cannon, Lane, Hunter Madalenas, Cody Smith, Matthew Thunhorse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The middle of those 6, third and fourth places, Lane and Madalenas, are now highest seeded drivers with new rubber. Grant McClendon goes upstairs, as does Steve Durham. The process continues. So a few drivers, but very few now, have not gone to pit road at all. Fife, Cannon, Cody Smith, Matthew Thunhorst, Sam Nieto, and Jared Davis are the only drivers who have held out the entire race. Most recently to pit road, Matt Sisler, Sebastian Miller, and Ryan Potter. Now, adding to it is Nicholas Ward. Ward going to be the most recent to head in. And with one to green, it looks like he'll head one lap down. Double file for lap number 54. We'll get started. It's Fife and Cannon front row. Jacob able to hang on for P1. Cody Smith dropped back from second to fifth in that previous running. Let's see if Jacob hangs on until the next caution here, or if he is going to lose the lead to Ethan Lane or company. Green flags out side by side. Jacob not able to get a fast breakaway, but he still has that preferential inside groove. Toe-to-toe, caution's out again. It's the 6th of the day, and it's the back of the field once more. Take a look at what caused this trouble. Cannon to Will Reichard, and he just slipped onto the outside, and he gets sent to the outside of the track. From the outside groove to the outside wall, Blake Gordon drops back to 26th on that one. Minor contact. It should be recoverable, but he'll lose all track position. .56 laps in out of 175, and even with this, not every holdout has decided to go down to pit road. In fact, only one did, Sam Nieto. Nieto making his first trip after 57 laps. Steve Durham going to accompany him this time around and head to pit road. Fife will lead his third restart of the day, and it looks like despite the pressure, Lane has not yet been able to get to that front row. Standstill in third, of course, because of the cautions, but Fife also has been able to defend well on the inside not to lose that lead. Green flag, lap 59 this time. Here we go again for your sixth of the day. Jacob Fife and Cannon remain your front row. Matt Lennis and Matthew Thunhorst on the outside are going to watch, but there's no match this time for Jacob Fife. He'll get the lunge into the inside of 1 and 2. Ethan Lane close to putting contact down, but he won't need to. Fife with the run out. Toe to toe. Jacob drops just a little bit further out of line. Here comes Ethan Lane. Lane surges. Madalenas follows. 1, 2, 3, and like an accordion, they bump each other back and forth. Jacob is in a delicate process now of having to go alongside both lanes and continue defending. One that he can't defend is Ethan Lane now. He's got the low groove, and he'll make the pass. Ethan Lane now dropping just a little bit further into the inside. That's all he'll need. And for lap number 62, the number 6 is back on top. Huge pass there from Lane just to get the race lead back before the yellow flags ensue or any additional chaos. Lane and Blake Cannon right at each other again. Yep, 7th caution. Brant McClendon. Lane getting into his top spot where he wanted to be just before problems. And here are the problems that we were set to mention. McClendon side by side with Brooks. And just a hook from Brooks sends McClendon down, cautions out. Another time where another incident is only 1 or 2 drivers, 1 with damage, 2 involved, McClendon, Kyle Brooks. Caution is out again. Lane is leader after 3 straight from Fife. And even as we approach the halfway marker, Lane going to be one of those who went down a pit road. But 4 of the next 5 drivers after him, in Fife, Cannon, Smith, and Thunhorst, have yet to go down even once. Looks like with all the yellow flags, it has become less preferential for them to go in. Mileage-wise, these drivers can do this entire race with a no-stop strategy. That's not out of the question. Not even too ridiculous to say, especially with the cautions that we've been having. Wouldn't be easy, but it is possible. Got 93 miles slated for us today. Drivers can go comfortably about 90 miles without saving aggressively. Yellow flags are just enough for it to be saving naturally. On to green for lap number 67. Now it is Lane and Jacob Fife the front row. Jacob upping it by 2. Till Ethan Lane took it back. Green flags out again. Lane hits the throttle, several car lengths up. Blake Cannon having a better shot for second now than even Fife. Toe-to-toe for the runner-up spot on back. Ethan Lane leaves no doubt as to who's on top. And he is clearly advantageous of the entire. That's the gap that he's wanted. And finally, with clean air on the restart, he gets it. Now the difficult part, finding a way to extend that gap when there's been so few opportunities to go long. Very clear now that Ethan Lane has the pace, and he generally does, but does he have the stuff to stretch it? And will he have the circumstance? Jacob Fife trying to get to the inside of Hunter Madalenas. To this point, no dice, can't quite get there. And so, he'll carry on ahead of Fife. Blake Gordon, into number 13, is right alongside Casey Shue. Blake right now in 17th. Just got by Shue with a little bit of a swerve from the number 4 team. Gordon was running inside the top 10 earlier in the day. Just some troubles in the mid-race segment. Quarter of the race have shot him back here. Slid out of line. Got caught up in some caution-causing incidents. And even though the backside is a little bit bent up, I wouldn't be too surprised if Blake Gordon had enough to keep on going. In a competitive level, oh, Tom Wetmore. Wetmore way back. He got up in the wall, and now he'll fall back to where Gordon is. That sends Tom to 16th. And here you have it. He is alongside Blake Gordon. Matt Sizzler not particularly far ahead, but I don't think Tom's got the momentum to catch up and chase him. Justin Morton with Jack Drucker, DJ Stagner up into 10th. Hunter Madalenas now with considerable advantage over Thomas Bressi, and as long as Matthew Thunhorst, of course, stays in the mix, and so does Hunter Madalenas, Thomas Bressi would be out of the playoffs. Madalenas would make it into the playoffs if he outfinishes Thunhorst and Bressi no matter what. However, for Bressi, those two in the top 10, he would basically need a winner-go-home scenario to lock himself in. Only other driver he can bank on would be Blake Cannon, but bad news, Cannon is also ahead of him in third. So two of Bressi's biggest rivals in the playoff picture run inside the podium, and the next after that runs in fourth. As they roll, Ethan Lane, Jared Davis, Hunter Madalenas, Blake Cannon, and Matthew Thunhorst would make the final 5. Bressi would be the first driver out of the equation, just on your current positions. For Thomas, that would be the first ever time he does not make the final 5, mind you. So it goes to show the bar and level of performance he's had to this point has been so remarkable that to not make it to the final 5 would be the biggest failure of his Ignite Series career. And even then, he would be single digit in points and would be able to finish as high as 6th in the championship. Unbelievable when you think about that, but right now he is getting pressured again by Jacob Fife. Fife looking low. This is for 7th. Jacob to the bottom. Wasn't able to get the pass. Thomas got through him. Cody Smith all the while opts to go to the high side, and it looks like Cody might be looking for something here. Jacob Fife watching DJ Stagner as well. It's still pretty contentious out here. Again, DJ Stagner's in a spot where he needs to win this race to make it on to the next part of the season as a championship contender. He is more than 30 points back, and with that deficit, a tremendous one, unfortunately, for his cause, he's not going to be able to really go out there, dig, and compete unless he has more success in getting up to the lead, keeping the lead, and winning it just like that, which is easier said than done, much easier said than done. As a result, right now, Fife is in a problematic spot. For his championship cause, it doesn't look like he's going to get the luckier end of the stick tonight unless things really go well for him from here. He's got to get up past Smith and Fife, and that's the first of many hurdles from this point onward. Toe-to-toe, Jacob Fife with DJ Stagner. Drucker in the number 56, 11th place in this current spot for him. Fitting well for Drucker. But again, for his championship chances, it's another story. Jack has been a remarkable rookie, but it looks like the odds have not really been with him. Oh, DJ Stagner, bad to worse, the caution's out. Riding up the wall, that brings out your 8th of the day. Check this out. Jacob was slipping up in that second groove. Looked comfortable in using it, but as you can see here, perhaps that was not necessarily the case. Jacob up and contact. And rather, Jacob didn't make contact. It was DJ Stagner who did. Jacob got a little further high, but there was nothing else that happened. DJ Stagner, except he got loosed on his own accord, and much like teammate Ryan Potter, he'll have to head down to pit road here. And lane ops to go in after another 44-lap run. So it'll be his second stop of the day. Contrast that to a guy like Blake Cannon, who has yet to go in once. That brings Cannon and Thunhorst alike up to second and third respectively. Both of which are full-on holdouts who have not gone down to pit road at all. Lane wins off pit road, followed quickly by DJ Stagner, Nick Tarbuck, Ronnie Osmer, Cody Smith, Jacob Fife, and Justin Morton. So, yeah, DJ Stagner still not going to get the short end of the stick because he's still there with his leading companions. Hunter Madalenis is set to lead to the halfway marker, however. Hunter Madalenis to the point. Him ahead of Thomas Bresci in this position. The 24 would be hard-pressed to make it into the playoffs. He is fighting against the podium that lands just ahead of him. Of course, that's Madalenis, Cannon, and Thunhorst, all of which are just ahead of Bresci in the championship. And so for Thomas, that right now, he's got to dig through them all or he won't make it through. Madalenis and Cannon set to do the honors for lap number 88. Halfway down, halfway to go, green flags out, and it's going to be Hunter, torn up back end and all, bringing on the final run from Virginia. Blake Cannon getting to that lower groove, just skating off the outside of 4. And he can't quite stick the pass. In the meanwhile, Cannon is still there down low. Thomas Bresci for third, tries to get by his teammate Matthew Thunhorst, and the teammate rivalry of the season still going on. These two have been the closest competitors they've had all season throughout. It began at Daytona. They've only been within 20 points of each other since April on, and they have not left each other. And now, while at times it's been for better, it really is for worse. One's got to give, one has to go. Cautions out, 9th of the day. And multiple drivers with smoke billowing out of this one. Take a look back and see what happened. Looks like Matt Sizzler among those around the incident at the time it happened. And it began just ahead of them with Blake Gordon and Tom Wetmore. So here's a look. 69 team and the number 13 both involved. And heavily implicated, as we see here. Stack up, spins Wetmore around, hits Osmer and Blake Gordon, sends Osmer up the track into Cal Filarski. And some big damage for the 39 team as Osmer's front end comes crumpled. Roddy with huge damage here. He's going to have to get that fixed immediately for any chance to come out there. I don't think he'll be on the lead lap for the remainder of the night, though. Coming now to about 3 laps to green. We'll restart at lap number 96, and so the Centurion mark is set to come very soon. Blake Cannon, Thomas Bressi, Sam Nieto, Jared Davis are your top 4. Nieto, winner go home mentality. Get up to that top spot and keep it. He would shock the field and be the upset driver to make it into the final 5. The highest spot he's been placed in all throughout the race. Best chance he's had. See whether or not, and I highly doubt he'll blow it, but let's see what he can do with the situation now that he's here. Michael Araya, also a driver who needs to perform, and there's nothing else he can do besides push to the checkered flag. Raya came into the playoffs strong and has been quiet since, but now he's up in front, perhaps set to make noise. Green flag's out. Cannon on the way, back in business for lap number 95. Take a ride aboard now with your leader in Blake Cannon and see what it's like on defense as the field behind is a hornet's nest. Only driver clean and free is the one you're looking off of right now. Blake Cannon, Sam Nieto, Thomas Bressi. 1, 2, 3, now they're single file. Cannon has been able to defend off that jump and keep the lead. All the while now, Thomas Bressi and Ethan Lane find themselves side by side. Bressi passed by Lane. Ethan Lane gets back up to the race lead. That will shoot Sam Nieto again far out of the conversation. And now the Cannon has gotten ahead of him. Basically the same circumstance. Nieto is a relevant threat to win. That's without a doubt. But he's only really a relevant playoff threat if he's leading. So for him to even be in the conversation, he's got to have P1. And right now that he doesn't and he's dropped, you can basically say goodbye to that number 2 team as a forerunner unless he can reclaim what he's just lost. Easy pass there for the number 6 in Lane. Back to the top of the board, and he made quick use of Cannon into 1 and 2. Lane rarely has to rely on the frills and the gimmicks of stock car racing. The nudging and the bumping finds his way so well just by looking for the minor gaps and inconsistencies in another driver's game. And so, that's how he takes the race lead again. 75 laps to go, and who else but Lane? Watch further back. A few complications further behind. That's Casey Shue. Steve Durham goes around. Call on the field for Durham. Caution, it's your 10th. And the 21 of Durham goes around alone here. And it looks like, though he just kept it off the wall, will still be recorded as a full field yellow flag. He clipped the wall slightly, rather. 10th of the day. More than halfway down, and Steve Durham brings the pack again to a standstill. Only one driver has not gone down to pit road today. That is Blake Cannon. Cannon, by all accounts, playing the longest of long games by just staying out there no matter what. What's very likely is Cannon is hoping that everyone goes down to pit road enough that will take the race and keep the race lead. Eventually and inevitably, based on how strategy is rolled for Ethan Lane, he'll go down and in again, going down on 44 lap intervals to begin this race. Next 20 or 25, we might just see Ethan's final stop. There be it. Due to pit road include Jared Davis already locked in. Brandon Bernhardt coming out of pit road again. Currently we have a total of 23 on the lead lap. Davis being one of the last of which today he is really taking it easy. He's been out of leading contention. Unfortunately for Davis, it has just not been the best of races for him. The good news is, however, that he hasn't had a bad round, so he can back it up with that win he already has. Tonight doesn't matter too much for him points-wise. Relax on that fact, whereas everyone else in front of him, in front of the field, are still stressing. One to green again. 10th restart with 70 laps to go. Lane and Cannon are set to go toe-to-toe. No matter who sits on the podium tonight, if Cannon finishes second or third, he will also be locked into the playoffs, regardless of who he's around. That's something to keep in mind. He doesn't need a top one finish to lock him in. A top three would do him all as good. Thomas Bressi now trying to take that second spot with that knowledge in mind. To the inside goes Bressi. Thomas cannot afford anything less. He's got to be ahead of Madalenis, of Thunhorst, and of Cannon. As they run, it would be Bressi over Thunhorst, and just barely. 68 laps to go. Big pass from Thomas Bressi to put himself up in a second and ahead of his title battling rivals. Cody Smith, the number 18 here, he's got himself in a solid spot. I mean, again, he's going out here just for a victory. Been great at the short tracks overall throughout the season. The best race he had was Phoenix, going at it with Ethan Lane, and the second best driver outright in that race. And to be second best to Ethan Lane is a whole lot because he was able to lead and take the lead from Lane to begin under green. Otherwise, Lane might have ran away with that one, but to say Cody Smith hasn't been great at these sub-mile circuits is outright wrong. So he's up here again, 5th place, and it makes outright sense that that's the case. He's ahead of Jacob Fife. Will Reichert also having a good day in 7th. Maybe Reichert can make a little involved in a few incidents, just contact, minor tap-ups here and there. I think track position is king today, and that is helping out immensely for Reichert, who runs now the highest he's been. Blake Cannon is the only driver who has not gone down to pit road, and maybe that is starting to show. He just fell back to Jacob Fife and dropped out of the top 5 for the first time in 30-plus laps. 63 laps to go. Cannon is the only driver now running over 21-second laps, where everyone else is running the sub-21s consistently. Lane, of course, running the fastest of all, and now Nick Tarbuck is the one coming up on Thomas Bressi. Taking a look aboard, and briefly, because your 11th caution tonight has come out, it's Will Reichert. The 67 falls all the way back to the tail of the field. Here's why. Sam Nieto. Brief contact. Reichert got out of the way. And no harm, no foul, other than losing track position. And, yeah, admittedly, those are some scuffed up tires. But either way, looks like now should be good to go, Will Reichert. Continue on, but he'll drop down and go to pit road. Field set to go to green with less than 60 laps remaining now. Lane stays out. Notable who doesn't is Thomas Bressi. Bressi opts to head down and in. And as he does so, he'll be one of very few opting to make that call up in front. Will Reichert, Matt Sisler, Josh Gallagher, Ryan Potter, and Jared Davis will accompany him in that call. But otherwise, Thomas Bressi taking a big risk. Less and less time on the clock. Will that be the right decision? Bressi's now 16th. And with respect to his racing rivals on the track today, Cannon is now just behind him in 17th. You've got Hunter Madalenis in 6th. You also have Matthew Thunnell, 7th. So it's an immediate loss, but there is potential for a long-term gain. We'll see how it plays out. Tire wear at a noticeable level has only exhibited big differences after 100+ laps. And with Cannon now making his first stop on the day, looks like only one is what he will need to get to the checkered flag. Spread between drivers on fresh tires and 70-lap-old tires has only been observed to be a few tenths of a second, and really isn't enough to go down a pit road with the amount of yellow flags we've had so consistently. Flags out. It's all Ethan Lane on the gas. Jacob gets it side-by-side with Cody Smith. Cody is real close now to getting a little contact from Nick Tarbuck. Just can't get the run off the corner, and so it goes. Tarbuck on the outside, no longer. It's going to be Jacob Fife there. Justin Morton inside the top 5, though. Morton, a one-time race winner this season in Portland, an early playoff contender. Maybe he's got a chance to finally break through at an oval. And what a job it would be if he could do that. 55 laps to go. Morton going for 4th. And what a shock that with 2 championship contenders, the leading JTM car is the 9 tonight. That doesn't often happen, and when it does, it's typically at those road courses. And yet now, Morton is outright outpacing his fellow teammates in the clutch. That's your 12th caution. It's Tom Wetmore. Take a look. Tom getting involved with Steve Durham. And with contact from Steve Durham, he gets taken up the track. And that front end damage and the back end damage, very noticeable. No easy way out of that one. And the hit is clear as day. Tom Wetmore with the caution. .53 laps remaining. And another slowdown on track. At the pace that we've had all race long, the expectation is 17 cautions, which has its positives and negatives. At that rate, we only have about 5 cautions expected from here. That's still 5 cautions in 50 laps. We've had, for the most part, the average of about 10 laps per run. Not a successful average by any means. Hopefully from here on out, that changes just a little. We still have the majority of our pack. Only 3 retirees, and it looks like otherwise, the entire field is still rolling. That's 26 of your 29 starters on the track. It's about 3/4 of the way in. Less than 50 to go. We go at it this time by. Lane eyeing his 8th win of the season. It's been ticking down the laps again and again and again. Got by for the race lead most recently. He got there decisively first and foremost. Has not looked bad. That level of consistency at a lane, no matter the type of track, that has him as the championship favorite, poised for what could be another title win to add to his iRacing career. And an unsurprising championship win it would be if he could only finish the job off tonight. We'll get back at it. Harbuck and Lane. Ethan taking the outside here and Nick down low. Since Lane is the control car, he's still likely to get the jump and lead into the inside. That's exactly what happened. Green flag's out, and he's going to block both lanes effectively by doing that. The outside can't hold a candle, and Nick Tarbuck remains in second, but cannot take the race lead. That is a textbook play by Ethan Lane, and he made it look even more effortless than it really was. And it's the type of moves that are made by Lane in that fashion that are hard to beat. Not only hard to beat, but just impossible to expect, even if you've seen him 1,000 times. Because you don't know how you're going to get around it if you've never gotten around it before. Fife blocking hard on Justin Morton. Keeping the number 9 at bay, but only just. Morton looking dissatisfied with staying in the spot he's in. I think he wants even more than what he's got. And he has the pace now to really go for it. Oh, contact behind Will Reichert and company. It's caution 13. Here's a replay as the 67 goes from bad to worse with 2 of her most recent 3 cautions. Loose and up the circuit. One more time with Will Reichert. Here's a replay with a closer perspective. Matt Sizzler went 3 wide. Reichert was up top and alone. Hit Wetmore, but this time it's Brandon Bernhardt. And also the 99 of Potter involved. Bernhardt getting the heaviest hit of anyone else. And of course, Reichert, the one who spins around. 45 laps to go. Now into pit road, Reichert, Gallagher, and Sebastian Miller, all in suit. And as they follow one another in, majority of the leaders up in front still remain out. Differences at the head of the field after that one. And it's all Ethan Lane. Really no contemporaries on the night. In terms of pace and getting those launches off the restart, he has been unequivocally superior. Yellow flag flies again. Lane dropping just to the inside here. I don't think there's any concern in saving fuel. The way things are going, it could be up to an 80-lap run for Lane to the finish. 43 laps to go here, but he's been on his stint for 48. Chooses not to go down to pit road. That'll keep his track position as a guarantee. And I think that is the winning call. Based on what we're seeing right now, track position and company-wise, there's very little reason to go down to pit road. Two to go here, and the signal's given, 1 to green. Lane made the call to make the outside his own last time by, and just like that, he'll do it again. Nobody else has made the outside work, and yet Ethan Lane is doing it for the most important spot on the racetrack. There really is no comparison in tonight. The upper hand on both grooves. Ethan Lane will get it kicked off for your 13th restart. Green flags out. Big hit for DJ Stagner. We stay green, but the Stagner team is shot all the way up in the wall. And with the massive shot up high, that looks like championship chances over for the 64. Watch this. And you can see it as it happened on the restart. He immediately rocketed it up. So horrible news for Stagner, as we'll play it back one more time. Contact from Cannon. Loose, overcorrects, gone. So now DJ is going to limp it into pit road while the leaders go by. Ethan Lane in particular. And that's going to leave Stagner with no chance to defend one final time his inaugural championship in the Ignite Series. And he will bow out, fighting for the title, unfortunately, not by his own accord. .38 laps to go, coming to 37. Now the field is put together. Single filed out. Cannon low on Matt Sisler. Matt in the top 10 conversation. Good for him. Great race. Just keeping at it when things have gotten rough. Matt Sisler has not quit. That persistence is a huge deal when, of course, it's Martinsville, endurance is necessary, and a few of these drivers have been involved in at least an incident or two and are still up at the head of the pack regardless. That is the way it's maintained itself all throughout. So Matt Sisler is one of those examples of persistence even in those bad times. Michael Araya here still needs a shot to get that race win. If he wants to move on to the next round, it is a victory or nothing. He's closer now, but again, he's boxed up in this double file fight. Take a look on board with Lariah. Side by side with Hunter Madalenis. Bresci outside of the top 10. It looks like Madalenis, Thunhorst, and Blake Cannon should be able to outperform him and make it into the playoffs all together here. They're still in the same bundle they've been in, all of them together. Thomas Bresci is just behind. And even though it's not too far behind, it is still behind. Those positions count, and it's critical. Oh, it's Madalenis and Matt Sisler go at it. That Bresci isn't involved in this. Now that is aggressive racing, and Sisler, mind you, is not a championship contender. But I don't think he's happy with the way he's being raced as he goes up and down the track. Likewise, I don't think Madalenis is the happiest. This could have championship implications for the 07 and the 24. Hopefully things stay calm and collected, though, as it's toe-to-toe again. Sisler stays just to the outside. As the caution's out, this is your 14th. Watching what happened, it looks like Will Reichert and Ryan Potter Up the track with Sebastian Miller, 2 of the Swamp Motorsport drivers, and a hit for Reichert again. 14 cautions across 146 laps, and the average pace we've been running maintains. .30 laps to go. With some time to spare before coverage continues, we're going to take a brief step back and give you a message from our friends at iRacing.com. iRacing Motorsport Simulations, now for 17 years, has led the way for virtual motorsport action. If you want to join the fun on FTN, you can do that by signing up at iRacing.com. The summer sales this year have come to a close, but your Black Friday promotion is coming up in just about a month and a half. The best discounts on the market, we'll keep you posted on those, and of course, if you want to get with the best of the best here on FTN, iRacing.com is the place to go. We'll return right after this with 29 laps remaining. You're watching the Integrity Ignite Series at Martinsville. Stay tuned. The best is now yet to come. The final laps are ahead of us.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race.
.26 laps to go as we go green. And now, this is it. Double file for the 14th time tonight. Lane gets them rolling. Green flags out. Nick Tarbuck side by side with Jacob Fife. Watch as they roll through. Double file here. Cody Smith, the number 18. The number 2 of Sam Nieto for 5th. 5th is a must-win circumstance, of course, for Sam Nieto. Where he's running is not enough to make it through. With the drivers who are around him, it can't happen. Blake Cannon now up there with Thomas Bressi and Matthew Thunhorst. Matt Alenis down to 14th. And while Hunter has had control of his destiny for the majority of the race, right now, he is outside of that controlling threshold. He's in 14th, while Bressi is in 7th. And so the difference is enough where Thomas, contact with Nieto. Thunhorst involved as well. 3 title contenders, and the caution's out. Bressi to the back of the field, and everything changes again. Wow. Nieto, then contact from his teammate in Thunhorst. That shoots him sideways. Wow, that changes not only for Bressi, but for Thunhorst and Nieto and Cannon alike. #15th caution with huge implications. That's going to be for Bressi almost a death sentence. With the amount of time we have left, he's got no choice but to keep on going. And to quit would be the killer of killers, but he is far, far behind. Huge difference. I mean, a moment like that, when Bressi was running ahead of Matt Alenis, flips the script entirely on what's yet to come in these 20 laps. Matt Alenis isn't in a great position. I mean, he's 13th as it stands. not good. Compared to where he's been all night long, not good at all. And yet, Bressi is found even worse in being in 19th. Cannon, Thunhorst are in better spots. Thunhorst now has damage. Cannon actually gets away for 5th, and he's got preference over everyone here. To be Ethan Lane in this race and somehow avoid it all and be locked into the next round, he is on cloud 9 compared to everyone else who's still battling it out. That difference shows again between he and all others who have been fighting as hard as they can tonight, and they've been clawing at each other, and it's shown with 15 yellows. Coming now, a 19-lap dash. What can we do but watch? Lane takes the outside again. The top has been his choice, and he'll use it once more. Less than 20 laps remaining this time by. Green flags out, and let's crank it up while we can. Brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams. Well, it looks like right now is not while we can. That's your 16th on the day. The yellow's out for Sebastian Miller. Watch this. Contact from Bressi. Into Potter. The teammates make contact again. And Thomas Bressi is involved. Now, I can't tell whether or not that was a checkup from Miller or Bressi trying to send himself in the fight ahead. Let's take a look. Oh no. It began with Potter dragging down, Miller not being able to get out of the way, and Bressi getting collateral. 18 to go. We'll have less than 15 when we go green. Toe-to-toe, Lane and Tarbuck. I wouldn't say that's the right decision. Lane has really been a cut above, but Nick Tarbuck has been able to hold steady in second for the majority of the last 80 laps here. Just by doing what Lane has done, 1/10 of a second off or so, and a comfortable run to a podium placement that I'm sure is much wanted for the number 4 team. Maybe not much needed thanks to the point circumstance and being out of the playoffs, but Nick has maintained as one of the strongest drivers, no matter what he's classified as. We'll crank it up this time by, thanks to our friends at Whiplash Sim Cams. And we talked about them, and we've talked about them every race this season for good reason. Whiplash Sim Cams brings the action to life with the best cameras on the iRacing market. Any broadcaster can try them out for as little as no cost to their own. Free downloads of sample packages are available on their Discord server and all social media platforms. So check out Whiplash Sim Cams today. $5 per car and track package. And if you like it, it's yours. No licensing fees attached. We'll get back at it with 14 laps to go. Loud and proud. For Martinsville, the paperclip. It's not as fast as some other circuits, but the noise is there of over 25 stock cars, and let them roar again. Green flags out. Oh, contact! Oh, trouble! It's your 17th caution. And we didn't even get across the line. Check this out. Reichard in the wall. Bressi got away. There's a checkup with Gael Brooks, and Will goes around with contact. Seb Miller and Jack Drucker. A Baker's dozen to do it. So the crank it up is postponed. The restart is basically postponed. We'll have less than 10 remaining when we go at it. We are one caution away from hitting the average that we expected to hit when the night began. Looks like that pace is really not let off tonight, which is an unfortunate thing in itself. Back-to-back yellows like that really don't help. Cautions have bred cautions since lap 1. Ethan Lane has been the biggest beneficiary of which, having to battle directly less and just get those good restarts. That's been the end goal, and being the control car makes it a lot easier. $165 laps in out of 175. On the youngest set of rubber in the top 10, it's a tie between Michael Araya and Hunter Madalenis. Quick caution brings Thomas Bressi up to 14th. So a few early critical gains. Not a lot. Not really going to be a big difference maker just yet. That's a small step toward what could be a recovery. Finish off the night. Thomas Bressi has no reason to quit. The entire field is still up and down. So we will have 9 to go when we finish this off. Any caution after lap 171 has the potential to send us into overtime. That too could happen. Here we go again. Green flag flies. And it's going to be Tarbuck, Ethan Lane, taking that top 2 by storm again. Cody Smith vies for second. One last try with single-digit laps. Let's crank it up now with 9 laps to go. Right on the line for an overtime run. I don't think we're going to be going there, but with our 17th caution, it's going to be a sprint to the end. Watch this. Wetmore and Matt Sizzler. Reichert again and Casey Shue. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yellow flag flies. And that will leave us in a very tight situation. I think we're only going to get 2 laps under green from here. So by all accounts, it's going to be basically a green record. 17 cautions across 175 laps. We went caution-free at Daytona, mind you. And even with that happening, which was unpredictable, I'm still a little shocked with the amount of cautions we've had tonight. Pace of play been so deteriorated thanks to those yellow flags. So the past 85 or so laps for the leaders, at a standstill, especially the top 2. Maybe next time, but of course, we don't know if we're going to get there. As they run, Ethan Lane, Jared Davis, Blake Cannon, Matthew Thunhorst, and Hunter Madalenis would make it in for the final 5. Bressy's right there on the cusp. Something happened to Madalenis or any of those drivers, it could still occur that Bressi makes it in. He's back in the top of the running. Back in the top 10. About 20 laps. It's going to be a 2-lap shootout to decide whether or not he's got the stuff. Coming up next. This will not count as an overtime run. It will, however, be a green-white checkered finish. Of course, 1 lap under green, then the white flag where it's official, and then it's all over. Nick Tarbuck, Blake Cannon lined up, battling for the catbird spot. I don't think that's the focus, though. You got to look at Madalenas and Baresi were side by side. Jeopardy for any of them, and for either of them, guarantees a playoff spot for the other. For Lane, he's looking for 2 consecutive wins and his 8th overall on the campaign. Green flags out. It's all Ethan Lane. Here we go again. 2 laps to go. Lane just has to make it a half mile to make it so. Hunter Madalenas gets up to 7th. Baresi behind Lariah and Nieto alike. 1 lap to go. White flags out. This is it. Lane looks for 2 in a row. If he can go on for a half mile, it will be his. Further behind, side by side for Matthew Thunhorst and Cody Smith. 1 driver pulverized in the back of the field. We stay green. Baresi still behind Hunter Madalenas. It's no use for that spot. Ethan Lane takes his 8th win of the season. 2nd consecutive. And if he didn't punch his ticket in already, he is in the round of 5 as your top-seeded driver. Cannon with a 2nd place run locks in as well. Punch that ticket for the 27. Matthew Thunhorst, by finishing in 6th place as well, he will lock himself in. He came in today 1 point up. He's still there. And Hunter Madalenas on the cut line is your 5th and final of the final 5. These are unofficial results, pending final confirmation, but based on your finishing order, we've got a pretty clear idea as to who's racing for the title. Lane to now take it around the track. His own Polish victory lap. It's a small celebration, about as small as it was at Daytona, and rightfully so, in that tonight, maybe a little bit simpler just to finish the job thanks to having that track position. Daytona was a roulette, and interestingly, and maybe ironically for Lane, tonight was anything but. Plus, it's still his win. Ethan collects his 8th of the season. What a season it has been for the Lane team, leading 137 of 175. From the pole position, he'll win over Blake Cannon in 2nd, Nick Tarbuck in 3rd, Jacob Fife in 4th, and Cody Smith P5. Matthew Thunhorst goes 6th, 7th is Hunter Madalenas, and 8th is Sam Nieto. Thomas Baresi rebounds for the top 10, but pending final confirmation, it looks like he will not be with us in the final 5. Then from there is Blake Gordon, the last man in the top 10. 11th place is going to be the driver of the number 44, Michael Lariah. Josh Gallagher is 12th, Matt Sizzler 13th, Tom Wetmore 14th, and Jack Drucker P15. Ryan Potter, Will Reichard, Gael Brooks, Sebastian Miller, and Casey Schultz wrap up the top 20, with 21st in Jared Davis, 22nd in Justin Morton, Steve Durham 23rd, 24th in Brandon Bernhardt, and Grant McClellan 5th. DJ Stagner, Calvin Filarski, Ronnie Asmer, and Nicholas Ward go to 29th, as Boomer Logan is your final driver to register on the day. What a long one. And interestingly enough, this race clocked in at just about the same time as Daytona did. Even though the mileage was about half, it took us a whole lot longer. That's the difference between no cautions, and 17 cautions. Either way, it doesn't matter how many we had in between because your race winner remains all the same. He just did it a lot different tonight with quite a few breaks in between. Ethan Lane, you are a winner once more, and it's your second consecutive, but you win them in just about completely opposite ways.
Yeah, I know it's been a crazy season. Yeah, tonight I was hoping for a much better race from everyone. Martinsville is such a cool racetrack to do long runs on, especially with the right people. But unfortunately, we couldn't get that tonight. But yeah, we're happy with a win starting from pole.
It looks like the track position really was everything. You went up and down after going on the pole position. You went down a pit road twice in the first half. What led you to make those calls? It was surprising, but both times you made it up to the front again.
I knew anytime after 40 laps, if we got a long run, tires would mean everything, and they were, as I was able to come through the field and even taking my time. But that last, like, I think, I don't even know, 100 laps when I didn't decide to come in. Um, that was more a fact that I kind of knew where the race was heading to at that point. So we saved a set and stayed out front.
And by saving that, got that final long run where you were on the track for 85 consecutive laps. Most of them you spent as the leader. It just looks like from there on out, the restart was the biggest of deals. You think that was it? Was there anything else that you added to it that we didn't see, perhaps?
No, restarts was it. Just making sure I timed everything perfectly. I was kind of working with Terrabuck there to keep him up there. So yeah, no, it was all restarts, and then if I had a line that was working for me long run, but we kind of never really got that at something like 120 lap run, I think it was. So, but yeah, no, fun track, fun race for a little bit there at the beginning, but we're happy to come away with a second win in round two, and now we're gonna get to fight for a championship the next 3 weeks.
And by all accounts, the performances in the last two races put you as the favorite and the top seed to go out there and win the championship. Is there any pressure you feel on your back to do it all over again, or how confident are you now with these past two wins?
Man, I kind of was hoping to be three in a row, but Jerry Davis played that really good strategy back in Chicago to start the round. So, but no, it's been good. I think we'll be fine. Vegas, really good starter for round five or the final five for us. Then we go to Bristol and Homestead, and yeah, if we can rip the fence at that last racetrack, we should be in a good spot.
Now, with the momentum leading the championship charge with 8 race wins and 9 pole positions, getting 1 apiece today for Martinsville. Ethan Lane, anything else you'd like to add?
Thank you for putting on these broadcasts. Everyone over Integrity for putting on the races. I kind of wish it was a little bit better tonight, but we live and learn, and we'll just move on and have a fun championship battle with whoever made it.
Starting the final 5 with that top-seeded position, Ethan Lane wins for Martinsville. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Lane on the move. Your second-place driver, Blake Cannon, is right up next. Blake tonight, while not able to hold a candle to go out there and get the race win, was actually able to slide in and take P2 in the final green-white checkered run. So he gets 1 additional spot at the very end of it, and he gets it just. Blake is going to make it in as well to the final 5 thanks to getting that second place performance locked in. Another great race for the 27 team, much needed to punch a ticket to fight for the championship. Blake, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel really good. Second sucks, but we did what we needed to do tonight, so that's all that matters, and we'll move on to a fresh slate for the round of 5.
And today, of course, coming in with only a 4-point buffer heading in. What it was all about was out-finishing the drivers you were around in Thunderhurst, Madalenis, and Brescian points. So was there anything in particular you did in keeping those drivers in mind, or was that not the case?
Well, after not getting a so good qualifying effort, kind of put myself in a box, so I had to stay out on old tires and try to get some track position. And the main thing was I had to get stage points in my head because those are, that's free points right there. So was lucky to get second in the stage, so that's 9, and then kind of waited too long to pit and put myself in the back, and then had to just manage my race from there. But was very fortunate with the way things fell and was able to run second.
Now, second place, of course, not bad in the slightest. You think if we had any longer runs, you would have had something for Ethan or maybe a chance to pull yourself up there before the restarts took hold?
It's hard to say. I felt good on old tires when I had track position, and I wish I could have seen what I would have been lined up with Ethan similar tires, and not having nose damage from having to come to the pack. I think I might have been a little bit closer, but I probably had a shot at him on that last restart, but I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize my race or his race because we're both locked in at that point. So he did what he needed to do. He's always good, and he's always going to put himself in a good position. So we just have to stop making it easy on him and let him lead all these laps.
Taking the comfortable route to put yourself in for the most important races. 3 more chances, 1 championship. So you mentioned you made sure you got in there, didn't jeopardize anyone else around you. Does the mentality change at all when we go to Las Vegas in regards to that aggression?
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like you got to be aggressive if you're in the final 5 because every race matters. So, qualifying is going to be really important at somewhere like Las Vegas because it has a tendency where we've gone to these mile-and-a-half tracks and we go green and checkered. So you got to qualify good so you can be close on pit strategy with the fast guys and, hopefully capitalize on that. But, you got to be aggressive, got to be fast, got to be smart, and you can't have any bad races because there's only 3 races left.
Free to go, and you're right about that. Now there really is no room for error. Blake Cannon coming in seed 3 to the final 5. Anything else you'd like to share? The floor is yours.
I just want to thank everybody at Roadhouse Motorsports for all that they do. All the support backing me throughout the whole year. We've had an up and down year, but I'd say it's been successful. We've had a bunch of wins, so hopefully we can cap it off with the championship. If not, we're gonna go down swinging, that's for sure. So thanks to all them guys. Thanks to everybody at Integrity, all the admins, all the racers. Thanks to you, everybody at the broadcast booth. Thanks for my wife at home for putting up with me, and hopefully we can get in the final 5 tomorrow night as well. We got a little uphill battle to climb.
It's now to go double duty in that regard. Blake Cannon, second on the day tonight for Martinsville, and big success for the Patriots. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, David.
Blake on his way. We have 1 championship spoiler entering your top 3. Nick Tarbuck in the 29. He was second for the better part of that final run and hangs tight for a 3rd place finish when it's all concluded. 90 final laps on that stint to make your way in for the top 3, Nick. It looks like a lot of that time spent waiting on those restarts.
Yeah, man. I really wish we were able to get one of those runs before Blake got up there. Going because I would have probably came second. I might have even caught Ethan at some point. I mean, I don't know, but I figured out a diamond the corner. I figured out how to diamond it and got a lot quicker. But getting around him's a totally different story. I would have had to probably just drive through him, which I would not have liked doing. So, we'll never know. But yeah, it's a shame that this race was just a caution fest. Because I think that it turned out I had a decent bit of speed, and it was kind of fun to race up there with those guys. But the restarts just kept getting worse and worse for me. My tires were just I couldn't put the grip down and match Ethan. So, it was pretty much inevitable that somebody was going to get around me at some point, and Blake did. But good win to Ethan. He earned it. Good job to Blake for coming back up to the field there. And yeah, man, it's just Martinsville, I guess.
And you mentioned tires and that wear. For the first 50 or so laps on a run, we didn't see that as a big problem, but you spent just about more than half of your race on that final run. So even with the restarts, it played a big role, huh?
Yeah, I mean, once you kind of figured out it was going to be a caution fest like it was just getting track position because you could pass, but you needed a decent run, a decent green flag run, like 20, 30 laps to get, to make passes without actually putting people in bad spots. So I was able to pit a couple times and come up the field with Ethan and with those guys, but it was always precarious and you're always just dodging wrecks and dodging cautions. So, it was just a matter of you might as well stay out and you have older tires, but track position is just going to be crucial. And when you're getting like 5-lap runs, maybe not even 1-lap runs, it's like, you're not going to lose any spots as long as you don't screw up on the restart. So it's just a matter of trying to keep them under the car and just try not to lose too much time.
And all things considered, this top 3 finish still a strong result for the team with 3 more races left. You're still championship eligible over there fighting in the Octane Series, but for you now, wins are the only goal left to end this season in the Ignite campaign. So Las Vegas, back to what we consider the bread and butter of this entire campaign. It's intermediates. What's it going to take for you to succeed from here?
Yeah, I'm not sure, man. I'm just kind of having fun. You know, it's kind of nice to have one night where I guess there's no expectations other than, try to win. Kind of helps alleviate some of the pressure because, the playoffs and stuff can really, it can make sim racing, it's fun, but it can make it high pressure and kind of just like stressful. So it's good to have nights and like this where there's no real expectation. I don't worry about too many things and just I can go out and have a good run. So yeah, I mean, intermediates with this car, it hit or miss for me, I guess. We'll see. I don't even know what track is next, unfortunately, but I think I'll be strong. But Blake and Ethan and some of those guys, Hunter, they're really strong too on those intermediates. So it's just going to be a matter of if I can keep the tires under me and hang with them. But I'm looking forward to just having a nice, fun finish to the Monday night series and this season here, and maybe I can get a win, maybe not, but it's going to be nice and keep it fun.
Being fun, looking for even better. Nick Tarbuck back to the podium to end the round of 10 here at the Paperclip. Anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, man. Well, I want to thank you as always for putting on a good show. I want to thank the admins for putting on a good race and helping us, I guess trying to straighten us out a little bit there, some parts. Thanks to everybody who tuned in, my mom, my dad, my wife, the boys back home. And I guess that's it.
Have it rounding out the top 3 for the Paperclip. Nick Tarbuck, thank you for stopping by.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Now, who would have thought 93 miles would have taken the better part of 2 hours? Let's do the numbers really quick here. Coming in at 84 minutes, 93 miles over 84 minutes. So it's going to come out. That's about 1.4 miles for 93. So the average race pace, if we're looking at it correctly, was about 66.4 miles an hour. That is just over highway speeds in some areas in the United States, and some it's even under. I think in Virginia, you're going to have a luckier shot or a more common shot doing 70 down the interstate highways, and that would be faster than what you saw tonight. That happens. Our average speed last week was north of 180, but tonight was pretty different. With that being said, checkered flag falls. Ethan Lane is an 8-time winner, and he will not be denied. Join us for the final 3 races of the Ignite Series season beginning next week as we head next to Las Vegas. Sin City opens up the championship finale round, and we would love to see you there. Additionally, the Octane Series races tomorrow to end their round of 10. We hope you enjoy coverage of that as well, exclusively on FTN Broadcasting. I've been your host, David Croyd's commentating and producing, so if you did like the show, make sure to leave a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel, and we'd love to have you back for what is yet to come. 3 more races in both series now. The Integrity Racing League for 2025 coming to an exciting close with championships to be crowned. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We hope you have a fantastic night from here. Congratulations to Ethan Lane for his 8th on the season. We can't wait to have you back for next week in Sin City.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Boundless makes its presence felt. It will not be ignored. We're helping turn ideas into reality with a wealth of building products that take every architectural style to the next level. This is what it's like to imagine, build, and transform anything we want into exactly what we seek. This is what it means to be boundless.
This message is brought to you by the rebrand of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This publication may not be reposted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. NASCAR Camping World Ford F-150. NASCAR Xfinity Ford Mustang. NASCAR Cup Series Next-Gen Ford Mustang. Arca Menards. This has been the publication of the redesign and rebranding of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This message may not be reposted, republicated, or rebroadcasted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. Thank you, and thanks for your time.